everyone. Welcome back to ChatterBox Rio, your go-to podcast for everything and anything under the sun.
Hi.
Hi. So before we move along, our topic for today, I'd like to introduce myself again. I'm Shakira.
I'm Mia.
Sri.
And we are the
ChatterBox Trio.
Okay, so today we have a very special announcement.
Yes.
Okay, we are very grateful and we are very happy to announce that we are kicking off season 3.
Season 3, y'all.
Okay, and we have a very special topic for today. So before we dive into the topic, I nak tanya korang berdua, how do you guys feel like about turning 3?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very happy, of course. I'm very proud of us, all of us, and including our producer, our entire team. I would like to say thank you to all our viewers, listeners, subscribers, and our friends, our family. Please continue the support.
Yeah.
Sedih pula?
I think this time around, this season 3, we're looking for a much more refreshing content. Something maybe that might spark
a debate. Scandal.
Why not?
Might go viral.
Scandal.
Yeah, might give you knowledge. You never know. But we look forward for you guys to actually, continue watching us, continue supporting us. Yeah. And tell us, we want to know your feedback. Comment.
Yeah,
like,
we have our
share.
social media. On social media and YouTube and everything. Please, we welcome everything. We welcome any positive and negative comments. Pun, please.
Betul.
Please, jangan malu-malu.
Betul.
Jangan malu. Okay.
So today I nak cakap for our topic.
Yes.
So this is a very important topic kan, because we are kicking off season 3.
Okay.
So kita ada satu topic yang I think is like a classic dilemma. It always comes up to us at some point or other.
Okay.
Actually adulting. Okay. I think the topic for today is should we buy or should we rent? Right or not, kan?
Serious
To
topic.
buy or to rent?
To buy or to rent.
Okay.
So it's interesting topic. I think.
Very
Dilemma
interesting.
Correct.
Actually,
Correct.
it has been like my dilemma since lama dah. Dah dekat more than a
we
decade.
always talk about
I
this,
rasa
kan?
especially now that we're mid-30s,
Yeah lah. I think we should think about that also.
buy or to
We
rent.
need to take some responsibilities.
Oh wait. Can I add something?
Yeah.
To buy or to rent or to go homeless?
Correct.
Tapi hopefully tak.
Yeah, correct.
Jangan.
Or tinggal kat rumah orang lah.
Merempat. Habis.
So to break it all down,
Okay.
today we have a special guest.
Wow, looking
Yeah,
forward. She's
right.
so gorgeous.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's a friend of mine joining us today.
Yeah.
So please, without further ado, welcome to the show, Dewi Hidayat.
Hi guys.
Hi
Thank you
Dewi.
so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is all mine.
So Dewi, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, like how you started to be,
Okay.
we want to know everything actually.
Okay. So, hi guys. My name is Dewi. So basically, just fun fact. I went to high school with all three of them.
Yeah.
So she's
school me.
60K
60K girl through and through. And yeah, so how I got into real estate, I actually moved back to KL during COVID.
Okay.
So prior to being in property, I was more in the arts, so I was working in fashion for a little bit, and then I was doing like music and like acting in the Philippines.
Wow.
So but because of COVID, I moved back, and then what I thought was going to be 2 months ended up being 2 years. So I decided to then stay in KL. And then how I decided to join property is because I've always had a passion for property since a young age. Yeah, so even when I was 16, I was telling my brother which property to buy and telling my dad, like, you should buy here instead of here. So,
right.
so I figured let's make some money out of it instead of spending
Yeah,
my family's money.
So I guess you have been doing this for a really long time.
Well, I mean, my interest has always been there, yes.
Yeah.
But professionally, I've been doing it for about 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes people cannot commit for anything more than 2 months.
if we're talking about commitment issues, that's a separate topic
Yo,
altogether.
oh my God. Yeah, we're not going to finish this podcast. We're talking about commitments.
Let's not get into
that.
Let's not get into that.
Seri pula dah Dewi. So
Yeah.
you have like a specific area that you're managing?
Yeah, okay, so I normally do like
focusing?
KLCC, Montclair, Bangsar, but yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, I
The
do
Beverly
focus on the
Hills of
luxury
KL.
properties.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, it depends. It depends on my clients. So when people come to me and they tell me what their needs are, I try to see if I can help them.
Okay.
But if I can't, usually my agency, like we work very closely together. So we always try to
Yeah.
help our clients as much as possible.
So means
Yeah.
if let's say you can't help one client, you pass the client to the other like colleagues.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for
Right.
example, if it's like, say, in an area that I may not specialize in,
Yeah.
and then I know like some of my teammates, they specialize in that area. We
Yeah.
work together. We work closely with each other and with the clients because it's about getting what the clients want.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. Yeah.
Betul.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we work with like, although I do focus on luxury properties, we always ask like, what's your budget, and we try to see like what works for them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Interesting.
interesting.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let
So
me
before we
tell-
grind you,
yeah,
before we grind you, Seri, take it, Seri.
Oh gosh.
Take it, Seri.
Let me tell you
let's
my
roll it.
dilemma. I nak cerita dilemma lah pula kan.
Okay.
Dilemma.
Okay, back a few
Tak
years
apa,
ago, always in dilemma.
Always in
Okay, so back a few years ago, had some family thing lah going on. So I said, like I'm single. So tiba masuk single kan, single status. So and then like at that age, I'm 35 back then.
Yeah.
Back then.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Yes, that's
2
right.
years ago.
2 years
exactly.
ago.
Oh my
Yeah. Okay, so basically 2 years ago, I was looking into like getting my property lah.
Yeah.
And then lepas tu pergi house hunting, like looking around, blah blah blah. A lot of like developments ongoing. And then lepas tu, when you Facebook people or like you check like property to buy, blah blah blah, they will pop out that there will be a lot, tons of it.
Correct.
Maybe more than a ton.
Correct.
So basically, one of it that really caught my eyes was a property near Jalan Kuching.
Okay.
And baru-baru ni baru develop. I mean dah ada orang duduk apa benda semua. There is occupancy. I wanted to buy that house. It was under easy house keys, some bank punya loan or something like that lah. So they said the first 5 years you just have to pay about less than 2,000. 1.5, I think 1.8 the most.
Okay.
So I was like, wait, it's in the middle of KL, like 5 minutes to KLCC, something like that.
It's a very good, good area.
It's a good area lah. But then they said, here's the catch. After 5 years, you need to pay like double or maybe triple of the amount that you pay at that point of time. So let's say if it's like 1,500, dah lah 3
Yeah.
lah. So I was like, what? My loan was I got a loan approved.
It was approved. Okay.
It was approved.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait, but what if, like with this kind of economy right now situation, I really want to own my house. And my mom was like, I really want to buy a house. But my mom was like, you calculate first lah, like all the savings.
I thought, what if you find some rich husband, someone buy for you, babe. Okay, that's the dream lah. That's the dream.
Tai tai. But I cannot lah. I don't think I'm that kind of a person,
Another topic.
Another topic for another day.
Yeah. So basically, I was pressured
Yeah.
at that time lah. And
Yeah.
I was at the right age for you to get a loan, your loan approved, apa benda semua kan. So, what do you think of the societal punya expectations? Like, do you think that the societal expectation exists? Or is just being pressured by, family ke apa benda ke? Is it like a real factor that we should consider before buying a house?
I 100% think that there is pressure. Social pressure definitely exists, especially in our culture.
Yeah, definitely.
I would think that
Malaysian culture or Malay
100%.
culture?
Malaysian culture,
I think it's
Asian
Malaysian.
culture.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Asian
I mean,
culture.
of course, throughout many cultures, but let's focus on our culture.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
There is pressure 100% because it's kind of linked to home ownership is linked to like success and stability. So, you know, we have like these checklists, I think. I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but most people will say, you know, like you finish high school, you go to university, you get married,
You buy a house.
you buy a house,
you have kids,
you buy a house.
you have a
Yes.
car, nice car.
Exactly. So I think that the pressure definitely does exist, and you can see that. So sometimes I even have like, you can see, you know, certain clients where it's like they're buying it because, you know, their parents are kind of pushing them to buy it, or their parents are helping them purchase their first home.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Lucky them.
there's a lot of. So if your question is, does it exist? Yes, 100% it
Yes.
exists.
I have a question, Tadi. I want to echo whatever that you just mentioned just now. One of it was your loan was being approved, right?
yeah.
So I want to ask you,
Yeah.
what are the criteria to get your loan approved? Because
Okay.
I think this is normally the
Yeah.
issue that we
Yeah.
have when you apply. Because same like her.
Yeah.
I had the same experience, but then during that point of time, I think I was a little bit younger than 35 lah. I can't remember my age, but I think early 30s, my loan was not approved.
Okay.
So I am still wondering sometimes like why? Because I don't have any like property negotiator friends. So now
Yeah.
that we have you, please answer me. I want
Okay,
to
so
know.
the general like rule of thumb is that the banks will loan you up to 30% of your gross annual income.
Okay.
So it depends. So it's again case by case basis, right? So normally as a first homeowner, you can get up to 90% loan. So depending on the value of the property.
Okay.
So they would then check like kind of like credit check and to
Yeah,
see whether you're
credit check.
eligible for
Yeah.
the loan, which is
Yeah.
normally like your salary minus all your commitments.
Yes.
And then
Credit cards.
Yes, credit cards. So if you buy a car,
Car.
anything that you take a loan for,
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
look through that, and then based off of that, they will tell you whether you
Eligible.
are eligible or not. So you need to earn like a certain income.
Yeah.
To,
Depending on the value of the property,
depending
right?
on the value
Value
of the property,
property.
correct.
So as you said, the rule of thumb about 30%.
About 30%.
So if your
Yeah,
gross
more-
if your
more
gross
spends,
income about 10,000,
Yeah.
so you're only eligible for like mortgage of
Yeah.
3,000. Is it something like that?
Something like that.
Around
yeah.
that, yeah. Which is
I have
very
a-
good. Very good, like
I didn't
measure.
even know that
Yeah.
because
Yeah, something
my
like that.
loan was approved like easily.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, maybe
What's your? Do you
because-
remember the property value?
Yeah.
Calculating it after calculation, it was about almost 900,000, almost 1 million lah.
Yeah,
1
yeah.
mil, and it's about for 1.4 square feet punya.
It's
or
quite a big,
1.2 is very
quite
big.
big. Quite. I mean, like it's
What year was
sizable
this,
for
by the way?
today's
Yeah,
today's.
2023.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
It was just 2 years ago.
I thought 2 years ago.
2 years
Oh,
ago.
just
lah.
2 years ago.
23
Yeah.
lah kan?
23. It should be 23. Yeah.
My next question. 90% loan approved.
Usually
Usually, right?
First time
Yeah.
homebuyer,
But then that will be depending on the credit
Yes,
check,
credit.
right?
Yeah, credit check.
Because this happened to one of my friends lah. She only got 80% approved.
Yes, that
so
can happen.
I know? I mean, what's the
So again, like I said, when they do your credit score, then they
Credit
kind of
score, yeah.
they see like, okay, this person can pay this much back a month, so they can only take this much loan. So that's why it's only 80% of the value of the property that is approved.
So in order
Yeah.
for her, let's say, in order
Yeah.
for her to get 90%, probably maybe like during that time she go for a higher value property, so she should go lower a
Lower,
bit.
yes, yeah.
In order to
Yeah.
get 90%.
To get 90%.
Okay, listen, everybody.
Listen, everyone. So
Please,
get your finances right. yeah.
And don't
Sort
berangan
yourself
to
out.
go
Berangan.
for high value property, but then you earn only this much.
Yes, yes. Jangan berangan Monkera. sorry.
Okay, Monkera, you-
It's very
they
affordable.
are affordable.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got it.
What? Which part? Segambut?
No, lah. I mean,
No,
it's
it's
okay.
Monkera, right?
So technically now, like the Segambut area is like North Kiara.
Yeah.
But still,
But
but
look
it's
at
still
Bangsar
Segambut,
South.
Macam
right?
But look at
TTDI,
Bangsar
TTDI East or West, something like that.
Yeah, it was
I think
what was it?
TTDI
Cringy
East or
before.
West,
Cringe?
something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Coming up to
Actually,
it.
I only know it as
Yeah.
Bangsa South.
So now
Yeah.
Bangsar South, like the properties are like sought after. We have certain projects there where like we're looking. It's everybody wants to rent. Yeah. So
Because I think Bangsa South is also is a good place for people, especially like students and also
Betul,
like
betul. It's quite
Yeah.
near to UM.
and
Yeah.
MRT or LRT.
Yes,
MRT,
It's a very
MRT.
strategic, accessible
Correct.
area, right?
I think for
Yeah,
like
correct.
single, I think there would be a
A lot
good
of expats
a good
also
investment
live there.
also for that area. I think Mangsa
Yeah.
South. It's a good area for
like younger, I would say, because it's quite a cool area to hang out. Also, you know, they have the
Yeah.
theater and they have like
correct. That's very nice.
yeah,
and
it's
it's,
close to Bangsar.
it's
close to,
literally
like,
5 minutes away
Yeah.
from
So
Bangsa.
it's a really good area too.
So Dewi, among your clientele, it's how many percent locals, how many percent expats?
I'd say like 50-50 for me. But it depends for like every real estate negotiator has a different type of like clientele. So
Yeah.
like for me, I think because I do mix around with quite a few expats.
Okay.
Yep.
So I do have expat clients.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'd say for me it's like 50-50.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I just want to just echo back from your question just now about expats, right? I'm sure you have also young and also millennial orang kata, or what call these clients, right? So I want to ask you something. I think this is more like an opinion based rather than very factual. Factual. So I'm saying like sometimes I feel there is shifting in mindset between our younger generation and also our generation. It's like millennial and also like maybe Gen Z, stuff like that. It's just more like macam they don't feel like owning a home is something that is something is in their mind. They are maybe don't even
It's
think
not
about
their
that.
aim lah, actually,
Not their
right?
aim. They are more into artsy bitsy career stuff and stuff, which is also good. I think I'm at one point also thinking about all that.
I think
I've been
maybe
thinking
we
about
can
currency.
qualify as Gen Z.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Can we?
I think so. Yeah. So why do you think that is? What changed in how we view home ownership? Why do you think there is a change between Gen Z, millennials, and also our parents back then? Why do you think like it's not so important for us to jump into owning a property?
I think millennials and Gen Z, there's been a shift in a sense that our priorities are more towards flexibility and also flexibility and also just experiences.
Correct.
So for us it's more about like, especially I think post-COVID where people are working like remotely.
Yeah.
We're not so rooted in one place. It's not like okay, like I said, there's the societal checklist, right? You do all of these things
Correct.
and you're like, oh, I have to buy a home so that I'm in KL. I
Yeah,
want to raise
I
my
need
family.
to meet that timeline.
Yeah.
But now I think people are a bit more like, okay, like I'm working remotely.
Yeah.
I could go to Bali for 3 months.
Correct, yeah.
I could be here and there
Yeah.
in so many places.
Yeah.
So they don't feel so rooted. So when
Yeah.
they think about like home ownership, they feel like they're a little bit stuck maybe.
But do you yourself feel pressured?
Do I feel pressured?
Yeah.
Well, for me, yes. I mean, because my family, they don't pressure me as much to like purchase a home.
Correct.
But I feel the need to like invest. So for me,
Exactly.
I view
Investment.
For me, I view property as more of an investment. Like it's one of like a what would you say? It's like part of the investment portfolio.
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh, okay, I want to buy a home so that I can like move out
Can get
and
my
live
dream
there.
house,
And,
whatever.
Correct.
I mean, of course, and I love homes. So yes, I definitely want to like own
Your passion.
my own
Yeah.
property. But I think if we're talking about at this age, it's more about investment.
So you think with the today's demands and everything, you think it's still a viable option for investment?
I think yes.
I mean, your unbiased, the most unbiased take ever. I'm kidding, but seriously,
No,
like,
but seriously,
on
I
serious
think
note.
what it is that you need to be very smart with the projects or the properties
Correct.
that you choose.
Location and all that, yeah.
Location, for example, is one. Even developer, because it can affect when the project is complete, and if it's not managed properly, sometimes that's when you have certain people who are complaining that they're saying like, oh, my property didn't increase in value, and blah blah blah. But actually, what it is that if you look at the history of some of the developers, you can see that there are certain developers or certain projects that they're really well looked after.
Okay.
So after it's completed, years after that, it's still sought after. So so you can see, like,
Correct.
for example, Mont Cara, it's still like there's a lot of even older properties that people still want to buy into.
Correct.
Because location is one. So there's a lot of growth like in that area. So yeah.
Yes,
So
correct.
location, finding the right developer, right?
Yes.
Okay, my question, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask?
About this one? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask apa ni? Okay, I want to ask you because I want people to actually learn lah.
Yeah.
I also want to know how do we find the perfect developer? Like,
Yeah.
how do we know
because
that
there's a lot of
they are good?
difference,
Because there are so many developers,
There's so many.
so I don't know which one. I bet our listeners, our viewers, they want to know.
Yeah. Okay. So, one is the most obvious, where you look at history. So
Correct.
you see, for example, there are developers which have a very good reputation, existing reputation
Yeah.
already.
Okay. Well known lah.
Well known,
Well-known,
well
yeah.
known, and they have a lot of projects. So that's a good way to pick
Yeah.
developer. But sometimes I feel like there are new developers that you have to take a leap of faith.
Correct.
You
Yeah,
know, I mean, but of
true.
course, you need to do your research, right?
Yeah.
Like, you look into the company a little bit, look into like the areas and all of that. But there has been a case, like there was a new developer. They did a project, and then so it was like the entry point was still very affordable.
Okay.
But now it's doing so well.
Okay.
It's a Bangsar South property. So now it's doing so well that they have another project in KL. So that also is like
Yeah,
selling really well.
correct,
But
correct.
so can you imagine people that actually bought into it before they knew that?
That would, yeah.
gonna-
So
Yeah.
they have made so much
Jackpot. It's like jackpot.
it's a jackpot for
It's
them
a
because
jackpot.
their
Yeah.
value of their property
Yeah.
has like
But
Yeah.
they're new developer,
Correct.
yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, fairly new, yeah.
Fairly.
Like especially in KL, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes these developers, they have like they've had previous projects, maybe not in such big cities or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
other states as
So
well.
it's not popular.
But I have an experience about this.
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit unfortunate in a way that I took a leap of faith. But actually, I think as I'm talking about as a buyer is you should take the upper hand of make your research yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot
Definitely.
take information
Correct.
just as it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have the tools. You have Googles. You can
Yeah.
make information. You can
Yeah.
check their history and
Yes.
everything. So I really I think my family make a purchases that I think, you know what, is in terms of wealth, in terms of the wealth, I mean the property from we bought from now is
The value, you mean?
the value
Yeah.
of course is increasing because the area is prime, but
Yeah.
I'm not so what you call this happy with how they manage it.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, I think it's something that also you need to think about it lah, because you know, like because of that it just becomes so annoying.
But
You
like
know,
you
yeah.
mentioned lah, maybe as buyer we need to spend a little bit of
Time,
extra
yes,
time
correct.
to actually do
Correct.
some research.
Do
on
some
the
research.
system,
Yeah, we
right?
need to. You have to be
Yeah.
smart about it. You know.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
think as a home buyer, you need to know what you want, what you're
Okay.
looking for, like
Correct, correct,
why
yeah.
you're purchasing the
Yeah.
property.
So Dewi, I have to bring this up. Okay.
So what are you bringing?
Okay,
up?
bringing this up,
I'm like,
guys.
worried now.
You know, I mean, so I know you love to travel. Okay, I want to say something else, but I know you love to travel. Okay, and you're always off jet setting somewhere, and I love your life, Dewi. I'm so jealous. You know, I mean, so yeah, so I think a lot of people like feel that they need to trade off lifestyle flexibility. From buying and building wealth. I think it's building wealth because you're talking about investment just now. So you think is it like not true? As in, is there a way that you can maintain a certain lifestyle and also have the luxury? Maintain a certain lifestyle, but and also while building your wealth
Yeah.
in the future. What do you think?
I think it's definitely possible, but again, I think you need to look at your finances.
Yeah, correct.
So it needs to be,
That's right.
you know,
Solid.
yeah, it needs to be
Solid.
solid, and it needs to be kind of like within your means. So meaning, you know, for example, if I'm not earning so much money, but I'm jet setting to like Europe every other month, I'm not gonna have any more money to spend on investing
Yeah.
in a property. So there is that balance. It is possible, but you know, sometimes you have to make certain sacrifices to kind of
In order
invest.
to-
In order to build your wealth.
Yes,
Because if we could just do whatever we wanted and just build our wealth doing that, that would be the dream, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but but a lot of people that I speak to, especially in the younger generation, they'll be like, you know what? Once I have a house, I have to spend this much of money. I have no money at all to. They say eat, but I think they probably exaggerate. So maybe go to fancy places. You know what I mean? So I think it's something that's what they think.
Yeah.
So I think they need to be educated on the idea of owning a house as an investment.
Yeah.
It's something to actually. You know, I mean, maintain
Yeah.
for you to maintain your lifestyle. You got to do some
That's
extra
not-
investments.
That's true. But
Yes,
also
correct.
another thing is to buy a property that actually suits your finances.
and
Correct.
and your lifestyle.
And your
And
lifestyle.
your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you're spending 80% of what you're earning on going to restaurants, for example, then obviously you won't really have a
Correct.
Correct.
But if that's a priority
Then just
for
leave
that
it
person,
there.
then you know.
Yeah, by all
What are you
means.
gonna do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, some people are just happier that way. Yeah, so
That's right. Okay, so do you have any like advice for first time buyer? What should they consider before buying a house, before jumping into the plunge? What are they supposed to look into?
Okay.
You know, what should they consider and before committing? Because you know, I feel like once you buy a house, like you said, that it keeps you rooted. It keeps you there because you already have a house there. Recently, a few days ago, I just watched a YouTube channel, which I love to do. There's this YouTuber. He's from America, Texas, I think. He said that he recently bought a house because he wanted to settle down, but he's a travel YouTuber.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he said, you know, I traveled more rather than being at home. But I just bought a house a few months back.
Yeah.
So it makes me think like it's related to our topic tonight. You know, it makes me think like, oh, it's not just what's happening around us, but everywhere.
Everywhere,
People everywhere. They want to live the life.
Yeah.
They want to travel. They want to go party. They want to go.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. But buying a house keeps you rooted.
Yeah.
And he said, I remember a glimpse of what he said. He said things like, you know, I'm just buying it so just I can go back to some place where I can call home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so you know, for first time buyers, what do you think are the things that they should consider before taking doing this?
I think that the most important thing is when you're buying your home, you need to know whether it's for your own stay or if it's an investment.
Okay, that's number one.
That's I think number one.
Okay.
That's it, because if your purpose of buying a home is for your own stay, then you know sometimes the criteria may be a little bit different.
Extra, right?
Yeah, a bit extra. I feel like it's more of an emotional buy,
Yeah,
rather
correct,
than
yeah.
very factual investment. What's your return on investment? How
Yep.
much is rental and all these kind of things. You still have to take into consideration, obviously, reselling and how much you could get for rental. For example, in the case of this YouTuber, if he's not there, if he rented it out, he would still have that income
Yeah.
from his rental that he
Yeah.
could use.
Travel
To
around.
party.
the world.
To party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
And he's just a sole. His sole income is YouTubing. So
Yeah.
he can make money to buy a house, a property in
Yeah.
America, which I think
That is our aspiration, I guess.
Yeah,
That is
my
this is our
aspiration.
I mean now become ours.
share aspiration.
Share aspiration,
like
please.
YouTuber, and then, travel all over. He was in Phuket during this for this episode lah. So I was like, wow, you're really living the life. You know.
I think if you make the right, so say you decide to go down the investment route, right, where you purchase a home and then let's say your mortgage is like 3,000 ringgit, but if you can get a rental of like 5,000, you've got an extra 2,000.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
it's something to consider.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could still, that's what we were talking about earlier, about that flexibility versus like stability.
Yeah.
You can still kind of have both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
if
that's
you
correct.
invest in the correct property, you could still make money from it.
Yeah.
So then you can live in a flexible lifestyle. You don't have to live there per se, but that's
Yeah.
why I said as a first-time home buyer, going back to your question, so I'm
Yes.
not running too far off from the question.
Okay.
You need to know whether you're buying it for own stay or whether
investment.
you're or
Correct.
investment.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the first thing you need to do, and then obviously comes the technicalities of it, of like understanding how the loans work and like whether the value of the property is something that you can afford.
Yes.
And then
Area.
area,
Location. Location.
developers we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That's something to
Yeah.
consider. So
Correct.
Yeah, just
Correct. It's very important. Yeah, I just want to share. I read
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I think it's a very. I think maybe Donald Trump or something like that. You know what? You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's like what's the most? Well, he's in property,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Donald Trump
yes.
before actually become whatever the president. The president
The president of the
of
United
the
States
free
for the
world
second
country.
time.
Yeah.
For the second time.
Yes, for the second right. You know what I mean? So it's like he said that the most important thing is three things. It's location, and location. That's all.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
he is talking from the investment aspect and angle,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
That's why location.
Location.
Is it true?
I
like
I think for
location.
own
I
stay
think
also location
For
is
me,
important.
location is super important, which is why like KLCC area, there's a lot of investors that come in because
Yeah.
again, a lot of expats live in the area. Or like, for example,
correct.
even projects that allow Airbnb.
Yeah.
It's mostly in the KLCC area because you have the tourists will be in that area. So yeah, location, 100%.
Yeah.
It's super important. But when it comes to own stay,
yes, I want to know.
then that's different because if like some
it's
people,
not only location.
it's not only location, but I mean in a way it is because, for example, if you wanted to live somewhere more quiet, there's no traffic, no all of this. The location of where you buy your property still matters, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
it may not be prime location. It might be a little on the outskirts,
Yeah.
but it's still about location. So
Yeah, sometimes size is so important. Also,
Size
if,
is very
if you have a
important,
family, you need something that is big. Sometimes
you
it's
can't
just
be living in a two bedroom punya house or
correct lah.
flat.
Correct. You
If
got
have
maybe
5 children.
maybe you want landed and sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Tak apa, go ahead.
While I'm at it lah, kan?
Yeah.
I want to check with you. If let's say we buy a house that is a bit like further from like town, out circuit, 10 years down the road, then suddenly I want to sell the house. Then it wouldn't be as to compare if you buy a house in like the city, the one that is out circuit, the value doesn't increase as much as the one in the city, right?
It could, for example, like look at like Kota Damansara, for example.
Okay.
Kota Damansara is a good
You know
example.
what I mean? Like maybe like when we were younger, there was nothing there. Like it was, but now like the stations, all the MRT stations, Kuasa,
too many
Yeah.
Damansara, like
Yeah.
even Sungai Buloh. So like
Yeah.
it's what we used to think was so far, it's not far anymore because everything kind of just moves outwards too. So again, if you pick the right project and the right location, so even if it was outside of like what's prime and what's famous, what's known,
Yeah.
you could still make a lot of money.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's a risk that you're taking.
Yes,
because
yes, 100%.
At that
There's
point
no
of time,
yeah.
I think
There's
during
no
our
guarantee.
schooling days,
Correct.
when we were like 15, a lot of our friends who lives in Tamantun, who lives in TDI,
60K.
start 60K, start
60K.
selling out their property just to buy a house in Kota Damansara.
Correct, yeah.
At that point of time, I remember I was thinking like, is it a smart move to buy a property
In Kota?
in Kota, not in TTDI or not in our area?
Actually-
Although it's just a neighboring place, right? Neighboring neighborhood.
I think it's based on their financial. So it's not financial. It's like a long-term planning
Because
because
at that point of time, the house prices was like I think 200.
It's
No.
quite cheap, right?
No,
Like
it's,
10 years
I
ago,
think
15
I
years
think it's
ago.
a long-term planning because people who bought Tamantun 40 years ago, I remember my
cheap.
parent bought super cheap. I'm talking about in like 150,000,
My
you know,
dad
stuff like
bought a
that.
house for
Something like that. Kan? I think my
But
house
now
about
look at it.
90,000,
Oh my
and
God.
now it's madness. So it's
almost two.
bukannya double up, you know. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
two,
300 double up. So no, I'm sorry. Just want to check. So basically, what you say just now is like it's not something that. Whether it's okay to buy in Kota Damansara because they already reap the benefit of the wealth in Tamantun. They sell it, they bought a house cheaper, and they have salary money too. They simpan in other avenue.
Just
Correct or not?
What Dewi just said just now, because there was nothing Kota Damansara way at that point of time. Like
I think there was just Giant, right? In Kota Damansara. Right.
I can't remember.
Which is still there.
Yeah.
It is still there.
Prime
but
location.
but
Yes, correct.
I don't remember like having like the idea of going there, but
Living there, you
living
mean?
there.
Yeah.
And then kalau rumah kawan you dekat situ, you'll be like,
Really?
Jauhnya.
Jauhnya.
At that point of
Yes,
time,
jauhnya.
Think about it now.
Even now so jauh, babe.
It's not.
But then
no, because
That road took me half an hour. That one straight road.
because to go to section 5, I think section 5 yang dekat uptown Kota Damansara tu, it will be like 20 minutes or
Yes,
half an hour.
yes.
Although Tamantun is just like what? A few minutes away.
But now Kota Damansara is considered prime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like one because it's if you can see the development in the areas.
It's
And then
very fast,
yeah,
actually.
KWSP's like main office also moved
Yeah.
to Kota Damansara.
And then
Correct,
you have
yeah.
like how many
Kota Damansara
malls
also
around?
Banyak
Like,
Tropicana. They
and
change the name to
Kuasa-Kuasa.
something. Oh yeah, a
Kuasa-Kuasa.
lot.
Yeah.
And you know, I think these are one of those like example that a person that took a leap of faith and
Yes,
it worked for
correct.
them.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, sometimes in reality, it's not always like that. You know, there are
Yeah.
people also struggling to
Yeah.
even sell the house after that.
25.
I always hear this, orang-orang tu always say that if you wanted to buy a house, if you want to buy a property, make sure you buy
You're
before
younger.
you turn 30 or 35?
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
Because the tenure is like
Yes.
Can you
For the
explain to
loans.
me and the rest of our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, so normally I think it's like if you
That's
have
I.
because we're getting into like the
Deep,
a bit of the technical side. So normally when you get a loan, you can get like a 35-year loan and things like that. But the older you get, they're not, for example, if you're 50 and you're 60, they're not going to give you a 35-year loan.
Correct. Yeah.
It's usually, if I'm not mistaken, it's like set to 70,
Betul.
65, 70. That's
Yeah.
kind of, so when you're like 25, they'll give you a 35-year loan. You know, and then when you're 30, maybe they'll still give you a 35, and then maybe when you're a bit older, it'll, like the tenure reduces, which means that you pay more.
Your mortgage is higher.
Your mortgage is higher when you have less time to pay it off. So I mean, I think it's when you're younger. I mean, some people are lucky when they're young; they're earning a lot of money already and stable. So these people are like prime for like buying property at a young age.
Like Cerise
So it's a
friend.
smart move lah.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, with my
But-
non-biased opinion.
But-
I mean, it's like
I mean,
it depends
investing.
whether
So,
there's
But
some
I think it's a very
Right.
calculative move because at that point of time you're still not stable. I think when I'm 25, when I was 25, I was thinking like I want to buy a handbag.
But
Yeah.
then it's
Correct.
I want to
different
buy.
if your friend to
Friend
probably
too.
during at that age he already got a lot of saving that
Correct,
he already
correct.
save it for like
No,
property investment. kan?
his main thing that he said like I want to get married. I'm gonna get married soon. So this one is to help me settle the loan because I know that I'm not gonna stay there.
Yeah.
It's a rundown house
Yeah.
that he bought it for like. But then I remember that he said he bought it apa tu rumah kena
quarters.
Oh
quarters
no,
tu
when
kan.
you get a what's that word?
Lelong.
lelong,
Yeah.
rumah
Lelong.
lelong.
Lelong,
So
yeah.
he bought it from lelong. Rumah kena lelong.
Just I feel that at any age, I think if you decide to buy at any age, it's not about like young or old. I mean, definitely there is a
Yeah.
certain point that you need to somehow leverage on the 10 years because you want to pay
Yes.
the least
Lesser
Yeah.
mortgage
least
lah.
possible,
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
mortgage.
Correct.
Tapi for someone who's like 25 or below 20, 25 to do it, I think it's not about the money sometimes. Sometimes it's about your how prudent you are with your with
Expenditure.
your expenditure. So if you really one of those people yang macam okay, I need to build my wealth from now.
Yeah.
So you bought a really cheap house. I'm talking about cheap. You don't want to stay there.
'Cause
It's
that's all you can
something-
afford,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
macam like talking about like low cost
Yeah.
affordable housing. Now I think you mentioned about something about affordable housing.
Yeah. No,
like
so you
government
have-
incentive and everything.
Yeah, you
right?
do have like rumah whip and things like that where the value of the property is like under like 300,000. Also, they have like a first-time home buyer scheme.
Yeah.
I forgot the exact name of it, but they give some of them can give you up to like 100,000, 100,000.
Discount like that.
100% loan,
100% loan.
but the thing is, the value of the property is like maximum like 500,000.
But
So
then-
it's like,
But Dewi, for the rumah whip, right? You cannot sell back, right?
yeah,
That's.
if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think
I think
yeah,
maybe
okay.
it's like an X amount of years.
I think even every house also
Yeah,
you
X
cannot
amount of
sell
years.
immediately, isn't it?
You can, but you have to pay.
No, this is I think so. Okay, I need to check. Okay, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
We need to check on
I
that.
should-
That's true.
I think,
about
'Cause
that.
I haven't
because-
actually dealt with the rumah whip yet.
Yeah.
Because like I
Yeah.
said, I do more like luxury.
Luxury,
So I don't want to give you the wrong information on this, but yeah.
But it's something about like if you sell immediately, it's not something now as fast as you buy, sell.
Yeah, like
Because
the
you
real
have
property
that
tax
real
gains.
property
Yeah.
tax gain. You want to
RPGT,
elaborate a bit about that just briefly?
Yeah,
just
so
briefly.
basically, normally, I think within the first 5 years of you selling, let's say when you purchase a property, if you sell it, whatever your how much money you make, you are subjected to the taxes. So if you sell it within like the first 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 30%. But then after the 5 years, it then reduces. So actually, you have to hold
That's
the property.
nice.
This is to stop people who have a lot of money also from just like buying and selling, buying and
Yeah,
selling.
buy sell, correct.
Yeah, and flipping,
Yeah,
flipping,
that makes a lot
flipping
of sense,
homes.
yeah.
So, but you can also have it like exempted once in your life. So some people, but a lot of people choose not to do it, especially if you're buying a property where it's like, or if you don't make so much from it. Let's say the property value is not that much.
Not that much,
So
yeah.
say for example, you buy a property now, 25, you sell whatever, you pay the taxes. But maybe when you're 50 or 60, and you have a lot of properties, and you sell a property and you make 1 million
Okay.
from that sale, that would be a good time
to use that exemption.
your exemption, because it's only once that you're allowed to do it.
Okay, that makes sense. A lot of sense actually.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question, Dewi. So for those yang basically not everybody wants to buy a house, kan?
Betul.
Some
Yeah, that's
people
right.
like me, for example, I'm comfortable renting.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion actually? What's your take on? What's your advice or what's your opinion on people that is comfortable renting?
I think there's no shame in renting, because I think it's just based on your own personal preferences, your lifestyle. You know, like obviously you need to take into account like the pros and cons of it.
Yeah, what's the pros and cons?
Yeah.
You think?
So I think the pros of renting, you have that flexibility, so you're not stuck to a place, so you can move. So for example, you live this year, you want to live in Montclair. Next year, you're like, I'm done with Montclair. I want to go somewhere more quiet. Let me just move. And the switch can happen very quickly because of your contract, right? It's like 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're a bit more flexible in that.
Yeah.
And then, or for example,
The freedom, you know.
and or if you want to move abroad,
That's right.
Correct.
you know, then you have that freedom.
I think this is also macam this is actually dilemma among all of us, kan? Actually, especially people our age lah, mid
Correct.
30s lah, kan?
Betul.
Because I feel like macam yang the first question Seri asked just now, we feel pressured by the society, like we have to buy. But then I think depends on that individual. If you're comfortable renting and then you want that freedom that you can just like macam for me personally, I want that freedom because sometimes I want to stay in Taman Tun and then the next 3 years I feel like maybe I want to go Mont Kiara, you know, and then suddenly I want to go KLCC. I want that freedom.
Sometimes you want to test which neighborhood that you love,
that
suit you, your lifestyle, and then you believe the house,
and
which is
also
better.
another point that Dewi just mentioned, which is good. We don't feel also pressured by macam maintenance fee lah, apalah. You just get the landlord to settle, the owner to settle.
That's a pro.
You know, just WhatsApp, hello, this plumbing issue, la. And then they send people, then that's it. You don't have to pay even.
But we also have to realize, so we talked about the pros of renting, but what are the cons of renting, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So for the cons of renting, so for example, when you pay your rent, you pay it every month. You don't get an asset at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And these days also, if you plan properly, your mortgage is somewhat a rent actually. Let's say if you were living in the property that you purchased, it is kind of like paying rental, but at the end of like the day, it's your place, right?
You own the property. Yes.
And then another con I'd say about renting is you don't have how do you say it? It's like you don't have much control in a sense of like the property, right? Because it's the landlord's.
That is correct.
You
You know what?
individually want to
You
increase the
cannot
rent.
even like letak frame or what. You cannot paku the landlord.
Sorry.
Don't allow me to do so. You know.
So you cannot make that place
There's
that
less
suits
control.
your
The freedom of
personal
making-
style.
yes.
Correct or
Yeah.
not?
Very
So I
limited.
find that also like, oh my god, I want to do
Very
something
annoying.
in
Yeah,
this
but I
place.
think it's dependent. So
Yeah.
sometimes you get landlords who are like quite easygoing. So they're just like, you know what? Do what you want, but like maybe sometimes they say just let us know. For example, if you want to repaint a wall, and then for them it's great because actually then they don't have to paint the wall, but then maybe you need to confirm with them which color so that they're okay with it.
Correct.
Or sometimes they'll be like, you can actually like hang all these like paku-paku.
My
as you
landlord
said.
now okay already
Okay
lah.
Yeah.
After
Yes.
like on my second tenure, then she's okay. The first year she was quite like you know, like firm, like no, cannot.
Yeah, because they're always worried. Like for example, when you leave, then you just leave it at that, and then the cost to fix it up or like to make it nice again is on them.
Yeah,
So you have
that's
that.
one thing. Yeah, I think that's one thing that I think personally I feel that rent houses right now is like cookie cutter. You know, it's like the same shape of what do you call this? The same shape of like a kitchen, sofas, and one thing that ick me is that induction cooker. It's really ick me. I don't know why.
Is that a non-negotiable for you?
Yeah, it's
if you were my client, I would like make sure
I
that you
make it a
wouldn't
burner.
have.
I want a burner. I want to cook real
don't like
food.
induction, eh?
I just like it's
But
just
it's so
ick.
easy.
The
you
food
know?
doesn't taste the same.
Yes, of course.
I
the
feel like when
food.
you're cooking with like a gas burner.
Yeah, it's better.
But
Better.
there's I mean, of course, there's always pros and cons to
Dewi,
everything.
before I go to the last question, I want to tadi actually daripada tadi nak tanya you, I lupa. So as a property negotiator kan, of course you will deal with your client from the start of the entire buying process. Can you go through with us the steps from the start until when you leave your client?
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, at least from my experience.
Yeah, from your experience.
So normally when someone reaches out to me or if I get a referral, like I mentioned earlier, I will always ask, is this for own
investment or
own stay or investment?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get people who are like, oh, like a bit of both. Okay, so then then it gives me kind of an idea of what they're looking for. So I ask them like, how many bedrooms are you looking for? What size? And then what's important is I always ask, what are your non-negotiables?
Okay, that is important.
It's very, very important because sometimes what can happen is that, for example, you tell me like, oh, I'm looking for this property, like 1,200. Like, give me a checklist of things, right? And no non-negotiables, right? So, for example, if Shakira was my client, and I'm like, all right, great, show
no
me all the
induction,
and then everything is like, yes, and then it's an induction cooker.
So,
and then she's like, nope.
Yeah. So of course I can see that. I mean, it makes sense lah. That you need to ask.
Yeah. So you ask for that, and then after that, the process is then okay. I narrow it down. So I try not to give like too many options.
Okay, sorry. Before you explain, is budget important for you to know?
Yes, sorry. Budget is definitely one of the first questions I ask. Own stay by, budget, size, non-negotiables, all of that.
Okay.
And then obviously like areas.
Okay.
Like which areas are you considering? Is it only KLCC or is it only Mont Cara? Are you open to like other areas? Are you open to Bangsar? Are you open to this? You ask all these questions, and then sometimes people will say yes, but sometimes they're actually not okay with it because you can see when you show your clients, they'll be like, you'll show them a property, say that they said they would be okay with, but then they're just so uninterested. The moment they walk into
you can see from their body language, of course.
Body language. So that's why I say like as a home buyer, it's good to know what you want, and if you can communicate that to your real estate negotiator or to your agent or
which will help the process.
It will help because it narrows it down because sometimes there are cases where you can show a client like 20 properties and nothing fits.
Wow.
Do you have like a maximum, like a limit as to like how many you can show your client, like not more than 20 for example?
For me, I think I've been lucky. So normally my clients are like quite good. So I have good relationships with them. So I will show X amount. I do know that there are some maybe more senior where they're very like, oh, this person doesn't know what they want. And then they're like, this person doesn't know what they want. Like, it's taking time for me to show them all properties when I could be focusing on other stuff because it takes time because sometimes you can take the whole day to show your client all these properties and then in the end they don't want any of it.
Oh no.
So it's very important to know what you're looking for and to know like what the clients are looking for. Then you start the process obviously because then it depends on whether it's like a sub sale, whether it's a project. So meaning projects are usually not completed yet or like just launched.
Sub sale means it's already like
so usually you're buying from a previous owner.
Previous owner, correct.
So there's that, and then you help them out with. So for me, I will like put them in touch with banks or like with lawyers and things like that, and then you guide them through the process. And when everything's smooth, you do the signing. For me, I like to stay in touch with my clients, so I don't
after the signing
everything. So everything is all done
after sale.
After sale,
it's really good.
So I check in on them and see, and then sometimes if these are the people that invest in other properties, if they like your service,
they'll come back, right?
Introduce you to
or they'll extend referrals.
And I like the way when you say that you will ask them what are their non-negotiable. So usually Dewi, what's the weirdest non-negotiable apart from the induction cooker? I think that's very weird.
The last point is tennis court.
Plus point tennis court.
Yeah. So for example, that's a very good
I
point.
think
So
that's a
some
very
people-
popular.
Yes.
I
It's
bet
not
that's
easy
very
to find,
popular.
It's like
Yeah.
demands, like I want a swimming pool, tennis court, swimming pool,
Really
court,
easy.
for example.
Swimming pool easy.
Swimming pool is very easy.
I think the one that is going to be difficult right now,
Tennis
which
court.
is pickleball. Pickleball. I want to have pickleball.
I'm
court.
sure like the new properties will like
Yes,
really-
definitely.
Tennis court.
Yeah.
Is
Or they will
Connected to
convert.
that, right?
They'll convert it, yeah. So where I live, we have a tennis court. But this is actually during the pandemic.
Okay.
Like 2020. I remember I was like trying to pick up tennis. So I was like playing. And I saw some of my neighbors, they were playing some game. And I was like, what are you guys playing? They're like pickleball. So I tried. So I'm always telling people, I was like, oh, I was in on the trend before. It was like,
You were the
thing. I was
OG
like,
of
2020,
pickleball.
I tried it. I have a racket at home from 2020.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do they convert the
No.
court?
So it's still a tennis
Oh,
court.
thank God, thank God. Sorry, I just want to say this. Okay, I play pickleball as well. Please don't, pickle bells out there, please don't punish me for this. But I really don't like when they convert tennis court, even a badminton court
To
into
pickleball.
If they take like just a new place and they do just like a pickleball, why do you convert? Because there's very limited tennis court already out there,
Okay.
and also badminton court and stuff like that.
There is a demand for both
No,
tennis
do new.
and pickleball.
Of course,
Of course.
there is a new. You can just take a new warehouse and build
Yeah,
it
correct,
just
yeah.
from a kilang or what. Just build a pickleball court. That's fine. Go
Yeah.
ahead, but don't convert anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, Dewi, we are on our last questions actually. Okay, so big decision.
Okay.
Brand or buy? What's your, I mean, based on your experience, and then this is like non-biased opinion lah. You tell us.
For me,
What do you think?
I feel like I'm a broken record because I keep saying the same thing. But really, it depends on your lifestyle. It depends on you. If you are, maybe if you have like a stable income and you're okay, like you know where you want to live and things like that, you want to invest in property, then buy. But if your lifestyle is a bit more fluid, a bit more flexible, and you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Then you rent. I think, yeah. So I think it depends. Like I said, property is a good investment. But if, say, for example, for you, if investing in property is not an avenue you want to go to, that's fine. You can still rent and actually buy. You could do both. You could do both. You could rent. So, for example, you could buy a property, rent it out, and then rent something. You yourself rent something smaller with the money that you've made from that.
Correct.
Honestly, I think it just depends on individuals. It's a case by case
like the
basis.
guy yang strategy, the one that he said, like,
Yeah.
a few houses.
Exactly.
Your friend, yeah.
Exactly.
He's not my friend. He's just someone that
Okay.
Yeah. So there are many ways around it. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It just completely depends. Like
Depends on that individual lah.
And
Kan?
if you don't mind me asking, what are you guys thinking?
We are
so
titties
like
here.
What do you think, Shakira? Rent or buy? What's your
rent or
take?
buy?
To be honest, okay, I'm just okay. All right.
What are you about
Why
to
you
say?
laughing?
What are you about to say?
you know my situation. You know my situation. Okay, I mean we know. No, as in like okay. I have to say that okay, I'm probably not the best person to ask about rent or buy because I'm not in a situation where I'm deciding whether to rent or buy because what you call this, I'm in a position where my parents has made sure that I have a place to call my own one day. You know what I mean? And it's not because of their hard work and their long-term planning, and I have I don't think any credits. You know what I mean? And it's a privilege that I carry with a lot of humility. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I earn at all. But just to see that they are investing in property traditionally. You know what I mean? And in the future, I find that it's very important for you to have a house, especially when you retirees, because you don't have any passive income. No income coming, everything. So sometimes ownership question is not about whether you want to rent or buy. It's about something whether building wealth and also building wealth and also I have to say give you a peace of mind when you get it older. So I think at one point it's good for you to also buy property. So if I'm positioned, if I don't have a property, I would buy. Just because that I don't want to have a problem with like nanti when I'm 60, 70 years old, I tak ada rumah and everything. There's a lot of people that's homeless at 70. You know what I mean? So if you have a home, no one can kick you out. Even your kids cannot kick you out. You know what I mean? Exactly. You got what I mean? they will inherit it from me, but you cannot kick me out until I die. You know what I mean? So it's like, I have to say that with utmost humility, I have to say I don't need to have that, to make that decision, which is I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
Can I ask? Wait, sorry.
And you're so privileged, Dewi. Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay,
what did you say? With as much humility?
I have to say that because people say nanti orang kata untung lah. It's not nice thing to say. Come on, you know what I mean?
I don't like it when people say that. Sometimes it's not just that.
It's just like, I'm saying I'm eternally grateful for
I
it.
do have a question for that, because you say like obviously you don't have to worry about that option right now, right? Because you have a roof over your head and you know you're going to inherit like a family home.
Yeah.
But have you at this point considered investing in property? Because then that question of buying, because you're not having to choose between renting or buying.
Correct. Yeah.
But so then the question is that have you thought about buying for investment?
I have a thought about it, just because that I just want, if I say I just want to stay on my own, just say like that. So whether it's buying or renting, I have thought about it, but I know my financial right now, I'm not in the position that I can just buy something that I desire, because I also have a certain place that I want to stay. I have a certain place that I would like to stay in. So
everybody can
correct. Our own desire. So I have to say, I, as much as I'm privileged, but I myself also cannot buy a house that I wanted to for now. Financially.
Not yet.
Financially, not yet. Yeah. But building to, we're working towards it. Inshallah. Yeah.
I think for me, currently, like I said lah, I'm renting and I'm comfortable. Me and my husband, we're very comfortable renting because, like I mentioned, I want that freedom. I want to 2 years here in Tamantun, maybe, because now we're already discussing to go different area. Like we're talking about Bangsa, even Wangkiara actually, because I like to
Come
stay.
look for me.
I will actually, because I want to stay among like expats. Okay.
Different lifestyle.
Somehow can see that already.
That is a punya realm, babe. You cannot touch.
Hello, we share the same realm.
Yeah, okay lah. You got it.
But I don't want to say that. To be honest, it's not that I don't want. Of course, we want to buy. We want to buy we want to own a property. Even actually years ago, not the story that I told you just now. Back then, when I was early 30s. There's another story actually. A few years after that, we actually almost. We paid deposit. Not deposit. We paid booking. There's a house in Shah Alam. I like the house. It's by this very popular developer lah. I don't need to mention. But then because lack of research, we rush into it. Because the idea of owning property during that point of time, we were so obsessed with it, but no pressure by my family. Nobody pressured us. It's just that the fact that I'm gonna be owning a property makes me dreamy, So then we paid, and then before you have a timeline to get the refund back, right? So just few days before the timeline ends, I contacted back the agent, the property negotiator. I told him. I want to cancel because I found out from people lah. Basically, the area is in Shah Alam. Somehow the area they call it Banji area. It's quite popular, right? Shah Alam.
Thank God you make your research, babe.
After we paid lah.
Okay.
Lucky that was refundable.
Refundable.
Exactly. Yeah, because I meet the timeline basically before the timeline. Because then if you ask after the timeline, then no refund lah. Basically burn. So then since then, now we're renting, but sometimes we still talk about owning property. But to me, I don't want to say that I want to own. I don't want to rush into it. But whatever apa yang confirm is one fine day when we retire, my dream is to have a house by the beach. I want to own a house by the beach. I want a beach house.
Why do we share the same?
I don't mind saving from now from this age until when I retire, as long as I can get that house by the beach. Yeah,
100%,
that's
really
my my story lah.
I'd love to have a house by the beach.
Okay, you can come live next to
Me
me.
too. Who doesn't?
Then we go Bali. We go Bali.
Bali.
Can we
buy?
Can we make a pact?
real estate
Whoever get it
negotiator Bali.
first.
Yeah, you should.
Make sure.
Then you guys can come along.
Make whoever get it first, make sure it's all for us.
Then
I will look for a 4-bedroom
No,
for all 4 of us.
Dewi have to no, you have to expand your area first
Yeah.
to
To
Bali.
Correct.
To
I take the
Bali, to
master.
Bali.
I'll be like KLCC, Monkera, Bangsa, and Bali.
Yes, and Bali. Wow.
But actually, another substitute for Bali is actually Lombok.
Lombok is
Lombok.
nice
And
also.
Lombok, there's a lot of people buying house by the beach. And the houses are gorgeous, man.
And still
Yeah.
affordable
Like,
wow,
right now.
yes,
considering,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Babe, I think you should move there, babe. There's a lot of expats.
I think
Yeah, I know you love
No,
expats.
Lombok has a lot of locals. Expats are not really penetrating Lombok.
It's
But
moving. It's moving.
Moving,
The
it's
house
moving.
in Lombok or Bali, whatever, like, is it cheaper? Than, I mean,
no.
the property value there.
And also a lot of them, especially if you're a foreigner, it's a leasehold. So you have like 25 years.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it's like, so technically the
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
I understand.
It
Yeah.
25
Okay.
years,
Yeah.
which is fine in terms of like people who are investing, right? Because they probably make the money back by renting out the villa
Yeah,
and all
correct,
of that.
yeah.
So,
But it's
look
not
at me
something
talking
that
about
you can-
Bali as if I'm a
Yeah. Oh my God, let's go there.
It's you manifesting.
It's you manifesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
But do you see yourself like moving into like property negotiator elsewhere, maybe Singapore or probably Thailand or
Philippines, because I'm half Filipino, right?
Yeah.
So it's something
Is that something you want to pursue?
Yeah.
I think I'm open to it. So if the opportunity
Manifest.
comes, I'll manifest. Especially Bali and Lombok.
yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Siri, what about you?
Yeah. Rent or buy, Sri?
Yeah.
Rent or buy, because I've always wanted to have my own house,
Okay.
but now I think it's a bit too late.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think
Never
it's too
said-
late.
No.
It's
I mean,
never too late, right?
unless in the next few months or maybe in a year time,
Uh.
I'll find a rich husband.
Investor.
Manifesting
Oh, you know
You
what?
can investor lah.
Guys, you know what? We can also buy cash lah. Tapi you faham? Macam like, for example, my dream,
Yeah.
my beach house tu, it wouldn't be like fancy
Yeah,
beach
yeah,
house because
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
old. Why
You
do I
have
want to
options.
live
Yeah,
in a
the
fancy
small.
house? I can buy cash.
That's another thing I would have said actually that I didn't say, which I should have said earlier. When people are buying, I would also ask cash or loan. That's another thing that I would normally ask. It didn't cross my mind, but yeah, that's another thing I would also.
Actually, one of my dad's property, he bought it by cash.
Okay.
Yes, but it's in outskirt Melaka lah. It's in Melaka lah.
Ah.
Within Melaka, so the price is about 100,000, I think.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's cheap. It's
Mampu
a
milik lah.
three bedroom. I think about 1,000 square feet.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Sizable,
not bad.
sizable.
Just nice lah. But it's a 1-story property.
Yeah.
So we're renting it out. My brother is doing all this, renting out apa benda semua. So at least we're getting some income.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah, that's
I guess
good.
even with that, it's kind of showing that like even if you haven't invested, but your family has kind of invested in
Yeah.
property,
Yeah.
and then, but then it's just generational thing also,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
as Shakira said, like
Okay,
with
yeah.
as much humility
Yes.
as possible. It's like
Yeah.
we're blessed and we have some sort of like
Yeah.
privilege.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. True.
Is that okay to say
Alhamdulillah.
without coming off as
Yeah,
like
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Boastful.
Yeah.
Arrogant.
Arrogant. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not. We're not.
Yeah.
Actually,
We're not.
I really want to buy my own house. Actually, one of the house that I wanted to buy was a low cost house.
Okay.
I macam because I want to have a house. I
Okay,
want to
yeah.
have a house of my own.
Okay.
But then, my dad was like, I don't need lah. We had some. Biasalah my dad being my dad kan. Papa being papa. So I was like, tak apalah. And then years goes by. Then after that, I was like, oh my god. Dia ada the one in Jalan Kuching.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy that. Loan was approved. I paid like down payment. Bukan down payment. And the booking
fee lah.
About 1,000 at that
Yeah.
point of time. Burn. Habis
Yeah.
seribu.
Because it was, yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
But then,
Also, you tak make decision before the timeline ends.
Is this when was this? How long was this?
2023.
Okay.
Yeah, 2023.
Not too long
a
ago.
few years back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that now the house dah siap.
Yeah.
Yelah, but why you let it like just burn macam tu? You tak tarik, you tak buat decision
No,
awal
because
lah
I was
maksudnya.
like calculating, babe. Because the payment, the first 5 years, it was just 1,500.
Because you're
Then
just servicing the loan.
Yeah,
correct.
Servicing the
Yeah,
loan.
Servicing the loan,
yeah.
and then once you get
the
After that, it will be like 5 to 6,000 or maybe 4.
Okay,
Paling murah is going to be 4 lah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's true, true.
because roughly then the property you said was about almost $1 million, right?
Almost
yeah,
$1 million.
So normally when you take a loan of about $1 million, like plus minus, it's about 5,000
Yeah,
a month.
it's
Well,
about-
you
Yeah,
get more than that,
exactly.
yeah. Roughly
So
about that. So
roughly, yeah.
You can kind of like
No,
you can kind of
so it's like
depends.
1 million, 5,000, 2
But the
million,
developer,
10,000,
the developer
Yeah.
did tell me that, oh, you don't have to live here. You can
rent it out,
Airbnb or rent it out as a homestay. You know, you can get investment.
That's a good idea,
And
actually.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good idea. But
Yeah.
you know, overlooking KLCC,
Correct, yeah.
and like the pool is
Just-
like
correct,
like infinity
correct.
pool.
Yeah.
I want to live there.
correct. But just want to add to that, like, I'm talking about like your responsibility as a buyer. Just now, I think I spoke about that. So some people, I know you will tell the truth to your clients, right? But there are also clients say, oh, you can do Airbnb. So yeah, they will say all this kind of stuff. But you yourself need to make your own
Decision.
decision, own
Do you want to
research.
go that route?
Whether
Or no?
Is it a lot of rentals? How many rentals are there doing Airbnb? Are they like macam fully in
But
full
sometimes the
capacity and stuff like
management
that?
of the
You
building
make
don't allow, right?
stuff like that. Yeah, you can check
So
on
that's
that
why I
as
said,
well.
Again, it's when you ask them investment or like own stay, you also need to ask, are you looking for something that's Airbnb friendly or not? Because the developer will say like whether
Yeah,
it's
whether
allowed.
can or not.
option.
Yeah, you have the
Yeah.
option. So you have
Not
certain,
all can be.
certain
Oh,
projects.
really?
That
Certain
allows
projects will
you.
be like Airbnb is allowed.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you know a lot of people that buy is solely for investment because not a lot of own stays will stay there.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, sorry. I did no. I think okay. So do you have any
I
final
got one
thought-
last question.
Okay,
I
go
forgot.
ahead.
Siri. Siri.
Dewi.
Sorry, because my name is Sri Dewi.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
thought-
yeah.
Everything is Sri Dewi.
Oh, okay. I can call you Siri lah.
No, please don't call me. No, there's nothing wrong with the name.
Okay, it's Dewi.
I just don't go by that.
Okay, Dewi, this is something that crossed my mind tadi lah. How easy expats nak beli rumah actually? I mean local of course no issue, right? But what
Yeah.
about expats?
I think for expats, if they decide, okay,
Is it hard or easy?
it's, I don't know if I would say hard or easy. So there are requirements.
Okay.
So for example, you know, like if you do like the MM2H and things
Yeah,
like that, if they want to
okay.
move to KL. So
Okay.
like for example, KL area, it's like you have to buy minimum 1 million. So it cannot be, the value of the property cannot be below 1 million.
Below
if it's
1
Lango, it's 2 million.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
so
I didn't know
why-
about
why
this.
is it
Yeah,
much
there
more
is a
expensive?
limit.
because, yeah, and then you can't buy landed.
Oh.
You cannot buy landed.
If you're an expat.
Okay, this one I need to check. I know MM2H you cannot. You have to buy strata title only.
Strata title nak mean mostly condominiums.
Mostly condo, or
High-rise
sometimes you
lah.
get sometimes you get townhouses,
And you
so
cannot get
that's
freehold.
as close as you can get to
Freehold,
But
for sure.
previously, I would
Freehold
say,
memang kan?
yeah, you can get freehold. You can
Freehold
buy
you
as an
can for
expat. You can buy
MM2H.
freehold.
Wow,
yes.
okay.
As an expat, you can buy freehold. The other thing about buying as an expat, if you're buying, for example, from a loan, normally you can get like maximum 70 to 80%. Only.
Okay.
But
So
82, it's not really.
No, 80 is it's like
Rare cases
Yeah, so
can.
we always tell them 60 to 70.
Yeah.
And then like if the
they're
bank,
lucky, they
if they're
get
like, if, yeah,
80.
because sometimes if you tell people like 80 and then they don't get 80, then they don't want to buy because it's like,
Okay, so let's say max at 70, yeah?
yeah, that's it. I would say like 70 is like a
70.
good, yeah.
But you usually downplay it a bit, like 60.
Yeah. I would, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
70.
Yeah. I would check
70.
with the banks, of course.
Check, yeah,
so then it
before,
depends.
so-
So then you check with the banks, and you check your eligibility of the client, and then the banks will give you a more clear picture. Like for me, my job is I know the data,
Yeah, yeah.
but I cannot say for sure, right?
Yeah,
So for example.
yeah.
Like I can say roughly 60 to 70%, but then when they run the numbers, then
It
they're
was
like,
lesser
actually
than that.
you can only get 50%. You know, so it's like before running the numbers, you can't. There's no like reassurance.
Okay.
But there's always just like like rule of thumb, like we
Correct,
say, like
yeah.
if you know roughly, and then
Yeah.
if there's no like major issue,
Correct. Yeah.
then you know it's gonna be about.
So basically, they don't need to have like a Malaysian
Yeah.
partner. I mean,
no,
married
a
no,
Malaysian.
no,
You
and
need,
they
right?
don't even
Not
have to do
necessarily
MM2H,
lah.
for example. That's not even a must. They can just purchase it as an investment for them.
Okay.
So they can like rent it out, or they can stay when they're like as a holiday home.
Okay.
But they don't have to apply through MM3H, but a lot of people do if they want to actually live in Malaysia long term, or like they want to retire here, or they want to like raise their family here. Then MM3H is definitely an option they go for.
Yeah.
But there's also the option of buying as an expat, not through MM2H.
Okay.
If it's possible.
Okay,
So it's not hard to buy. I think if your question earlier was easy or hard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard. It's just that there are certain requirements
that they have to meet. Yeah. Okay.
But
Thank
correct
you.
me if I'm wrong. MM2H are mostly for retirees, for people who are elderlies, right?
A lot of people that opt to do MM2H are a bit older, but
Yeah,
it's not for them.
Yeah.
It's 18 to, because when you apply, you can apply from the age of like 18 to like whatever.
Why
So
is it like a lot of elderly who apply for that? Is it because
Because
they
they
are
wanna
thinking
retire
retire
here.
here?
They wanna
So what are
retire
the
here, they
benefit?
wanna-
Retirement plan.
The benefit is that they can stay here long
Yes,
term
and they can
rather
own
than
a
you have to
property.
go there few months
100%.
there, here and there. You can just
They
set yourself
actually
here.
love it in Malaysia.
Oh my God, Malaysia,
Yeah.
yeah.
They say that it's cheap. People are friendly. Food are nice.
Food
I
cheap.
can be fat and
Ni
people don't care.
weather.
Yeah, now
Perfect
they say that
weather.
Malaysian women are submissive.
Who said this?
There is a risk, like you come to Malaysia if you want a submissive woman. I mean, if they actually date with a Malaysian woman, oh my God, I will tear the ass off. Oh, sorry.
I was also gonna say something, but I stopped myself because I was like,
Are you gonna like talk about me? No, like that is so.
I think I saw this.
2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, that it says, I think from I'm not sure from which
Portal.
media. This
Which
one
platform?
this one expat or maybe someone who travelled to Malaysia, they will say, forget Thailand, forget like other countries, Vietnam ke apa.
Yeah.
Just come to Malaysia if you want submissive wife. That is the title.
Okay.
Are you? Wow. I'm
Check
gonna
on it, check on it.
find out.
And I was
I'm
like,
gonna YouTube now.
I feel like this is also another very interesting topic to discuss.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's what we want to talk. Okay, by the way, guys, we're going to talk about commitments now. Okay, that's joking. Okay, guys, you know what? We already actually talked for quite a bit here. Thank you, Dewi, for all the
thank you
questions.
guys
For
so
like,
much for
we-
having
we
Yeah.
bombarded
Very
you
good
with all the questions, you know. But thank you for accommodating.
We gain a lot.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
But not just for us. Mainly it's
For
for
the
our
viewers.
listeners and
Correct.
viewers.
Listener, for us as well.
Yeah,
It's something
I
a
like
lot.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. So before we
Thank
leave,
you.
so do you mind telling us where we can reach you?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay, you can message me on Instagram and follow me, of course. It's Dewi, DEWI.properties.
DEWI
Properties.
Yeah.
That's your handle.
That's my handle.
Okay.
Yes.
And my motto is unlocking dreams one key at a time.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
Sexy. That's very sexy.
And also, if you're looking for a submissive wife,
I'm also single. No, I'm kidding, guys.
Oh, sorry, sorry,
I'm
sorry.
being professional right now.
So basically korang semua, our subscribers, followers, viewers, those yang nak cari property looking
Properties.
for,
Yeah.
especially in the area Montera,
Or
KL.
Beverly Hills of KL.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I'll help you
Or
whatever
any
way I can.
can reach out to Seri.
Dewi.
I tak
reach
jual
out to
property.
Sari.
I tak jual. I tak
Seri,
buat.
because your name is so like
Yeah,
But
Sari.
her name is actually Sri.
Sri Dewi.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You SRI, right?
But guys, yeah, correct. Just
SRI.
but FYI, you can also contact Sari if you want dating advice.
I don't provide that service.
If you guys in a situationship or any other ship, please
That ship has
DM.
sailed.
Yeah, all
That
the
ship
ship
has sailed.
Yes, all the ship has sailed. Correct.
Astaghfirullahaladzim.
Okay, okay, guys.
Okay, I would like to thank our viewers, our subscribers, our listeners for this continuous support. Thank you. This is our first episode for season 3.
Yes.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay, so
guys.
basically we hope we hope that by watching this episode, you guys can also share your experience.
Correct.
Comment, DM us.
Any questions that you want to
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
about property, true.
Share
Throw
your
it in
true.
the comment section.
Mana tahu korang
Yeah.
ada cerita yang lagi menarik yang kita orang tak cakap kat sini,
Yes.
tak share. Korang ada experience korang sendiri berkenaan dengan macam mana pengalaman nak membeli atau nak menyewa rumah.
Correct.
And then
Yeah.
your struggles, your challenges,
Correct.
apa benda semua.
Yeah.
You can share with us. We
Yeah.
would like to know, and probably we're going to read it out Okay, salah bila-bila because it's YouTube, right? Kadang-kadang
Yeah.
tengok 2-3 minggu lepas ke apa benda kan. We will still continue to, read out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Betul.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you so much, Dewi.
so much.
Sri Dewi Hidayat.
Okay, guys,
guys
I've
again.
rebranded. It's Dewi Hidayat.
Sorry.
Do it like Dewi.
Dewi Hidayat.
Do it like Dewi.
Do it.
Okay, right, guys. Bye.
See you guys.
Alright,
Thank you so much.
bye.
Bye.